come through very strongly from our residents as well. So when you see the draft recovery plan that we'll be talking to you about in December, you will see that we're giving more prominence to the importance of the Welsh language within our overall new wellbeing objective that we are proposing. The actions will be fairly high level at this stage, but I think then it gives us the scope to do the work that you've said as we go forward over the next couple of years. So hopefully that's positive now, but I think your suggestion there to do that with our partners is very welcome.
Diolch yn fawr, Karen. Thanks for that response.
Okay. Rhian, please. Rhian Heaton.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just want to add something to what Karen is saying. It's actually taking it slightly further as well. The promotion strategy, the requirement in the promotion strategy and under the standards is that we undertake an evaluation and a review within the 5-year period of the plan. So we are looking, following publication of the recovery plan, we were looking to develop the new or work on development of the new strategy, promotion strategy, sometime after the election period next year. So that then will take into account the recovery information that we've already had and then build on that as well as part of the requirements of the standards going forward. Taking your point, Councillor Llewellyn, regarding reporting periods, I just wanted to reassure members that we had hoped to have brought this report earlier in the year. Hopefully we were trying to get it by September, but unfortunately we were unable to make that deadline due to gathering information from partners, which they were experiencing due to the difficulties they were having in respect of the pandemic. But going forward, obviously we will look at bringing annual reports earlier in the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhian.
Thank you, Rhian, and thank you, Chair, for the reply.
Okay, no problem. Councillor Maisen, please, next.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's just a quick point on page 119, the top point there. It's about sports clubs to support the use of Welsh in formal and formal club settings. Now, I know we have quite a number of ex-Ystyr Vera pupils in Carmarthen Rugby Club, which I'm secretary of, and they're very keen on perhaps having one night a week where they will just try to encourage everyone, or at least the old pupils, to speak Welsh themselves, you know, not just to carry on. You know, they all gone to work now, whether it's the steelworks or council or whatever. So I know that people are very keen on doing this. I'm just wondering what support they could get. And I haven't heard about this scheme before. I guess wondering, I haven't seen it advertised at all. Okay, what help can we have for that then?
Right. Okay. Rhian, would you like to take that question?
I'll try my best, Councillor Rahman. Councillor Maisen, the information that you're referring to there was provided by one of our partners, so I can find out further information and get back to you on that outside of the meeting, if that will be helpful.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much, Rhian.
No problem.
Councillor Pattison, next, please.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to totally reinforce, you know, the thoughts of Councillor Maisen there about using incidental Welsh, because there's a lot of people have had Welsh lessons in their place of work, but then find it difficult then to practice and to use the Welsh language. You know, I don't speak Welsh. I come from an English background, and I think I've missed the boat, to be honest with you. I don't think I can learn Welsh now. But, you know, younger people who are interested in, as Karen Jones said earlier, their cultural heritage and the use of language. So if there is any way that each individual member of council can be told of any scheme like this, then we can disseminate it in our newsletters and things like that, just to try and get the use of incidental Welsh. It doesn't have to be a formal lesson, just somewhere where they can go and practice and not be made to be silly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Councillor Arwen Woolcock, please, next.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, that's a very, very important point that Councillor Mason is raising there. And I'd just like to say that the Welsh Language Initiative, Menter Iaith Castell Neath Talbot, does encourage this kind of activity. So I don't know whether that's the partner that Rhian was referring to earlier on, but if we could work a little closer with the Menter Iaith, maybe that would assist this process greatly. Thank you, Chair.
No problem. Thank you, Arwen. I don't see any other further indication on this item. Oh, sorry. Okay, Councillor Peter Rees, Cabinet Member.
Yeah, just to assure members that as far as the schools are concerned, the Welsh culture and the language is being promoted continually in our schools, quite frankly, even in the English schools as well. You know, and I just wanted to reassure members that, you know, it is being taken seriously as far as education is concerned. And of course, we'll have the WESP now shortly as well. So I just wanted to reassure members about that, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Rees. Rhian, please.
Just wanted to come back on what Councillor Wilcock was saying. I don't think in this particular case, I don't think it was Menter Iaith Castell Neath Talbot, as I say, in this particular case, what we were referring to. I think it's, no, I don't know whether I got this right, but it was the Language Centre, I think, provided the information in the first instance. So I don't know whether they have a particular scheme that they are working on, but that, as I said, I will find out further information and will let you know on that.
Okay, finally, Steve, please. Steve Hunt, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just very briefly, just on that, we had a task and finish group with reaching the Welsh Government targets of, I think it's 2050, is it? Or 1 point so many million Welsh speakers. And I know I was part of that, and Arwen and others. I just wondered where that fitted in and what happened to it. Because it cost the authority a substantial amount of money, and I just wondered where that went and how it's fitting in with this strategy going forward. As sole Chair, if I may, thank you.
Yes, you can. Rhian, please. I think you've indicated that you want to come in on this.
Thank you, Chair. To be honest, that was a legacy hand, but I can actually...
Oh, it was a legacy, sorry.
No, but that's okay. I can actually give some information. I think what Councillor Hunt is referring to was the task and finish group that was set up in order to develop the strategy back in 2018, I think it was now. It hasn't been forgotten, and I think we would be looking, if members were happy to continue in that vein, was to look at it again for the development of the new strategy. Every time we actually report annual progress, it is in light of the work that was undertaken in the development of the strategy by the Task and Finish group.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. Well, this item is going to Cabinet for noting. You can see the recommendation on page 88. Okay, so there are no further indication from members on this item. So if I now move on to the next item, which is item number 10. This is the local biodiversity duty plan for 2021. Nicola, do you have anything to add, or shall I go straight to question?
Thank you, Chair. My colleague Lana Bynan is on the call and she will be taking this item, but I'm pretty confident that she's happy to go straight to questions, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for that. I have Councillor Paddison, please.
Thank you, Chair. Well, this report is to be commended. You know, as a council, we need to be looking after our environment and our biodiversity. I don't disagree with anything that is in the report, and in an ideal world, I think all of us would want, you know, this type of thing. My question is, when we do get applications in for development, and hopefully Neath Talbot will be having quite a few, you know, going through the process now. How much weighting will be put on the biodiversity aspect of it? versus job creation and the economy. I think the same thing has reared its head in a much bigger level at the COP26. You know, it was like, yes, we want this, but how much does it take away from things we want to do economically? And do any officers have a sort of an answer as to how much weighting would be put on biodiversity as opposed to redevelopment?
Thank you, Councillor. Nicola Pierce, please.
Thank you, Chair. I know I indicated Lana would be responsible for this report, but on that issue, planning and the decision-making process has always been a balancing act. So we always take in, we undertake consultations with statutory and non-statutory consultees, and we frequently have a difference of opinion. And the role of the planning officer is then to balance up those issues and make an informed judgment based on policy and guidance, both at national level and at local level. So we have always done that, and we will continue to do so. But as you've quite rightly said, the climate change agenda is becoming more and more of a priority, quite rightly so, and the emphasis on developing out a sustainable environment, whether that be in terms of residential provision, economy, or the natural environment, is a priority for this council and for the Welsh Government, and we will continue to ensure that it is taken into account as part of that decision-making process. But we also have to take account of the fact that there are other interests which have to be considered as they are material to the determination of planning applications. So in a nutshell, we have always taken that into account. We will continue to do so, albeit the priority may well be increased in terms of the biodiversity interests. And we as an authority as well are taking that responsibility very carefully, and we are securing funding to initiate some biodiversity schemes ourselves. I think members may well have seen on Twitter last night, one of our officers was doing a video feed in relation to the good work that we've been doing around the Knoll and other parks throughout the county borough. So we are delivering schemes as well as expecting others to do so. So it's a very important priority for us, Councillor. Thank you.
As you know, Nicola, I knew the answer, but obviously, members need to take this on board when they're looking at applications, and please work with the planning officers, because it isn't always cut and dried. There is always a balance to be made, and that was really my plea, is that everybody's got their interests, and some people have birds and bees and whatever wildlife we have in our lovely country, but it doesn't always fit in with a development, and I just wanted to plea for a little bit of give and take, really, basically. Thank you.
Okay, I can see indication from Lana Bainan, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, in relation to the local development plan as well, when we're receiving candidate sites for the new call, for the new plan, we'll be ensuring that obviously biodiversity is taken into account when we master planning as well, with the new candidate sites coming through. But also we'll be, because obviously the authority has signed up to the placemaking charter, and I brought that to Cabinet before, just to say that is part of creating a community, is that we make sure that there's houses and jobs, but also that we link them all up through green infrastructure. So we'll be undertaking a green infrastructure assessment as well, which looks at active travel and biodiversity. So it's all integrated. And even if there was an application for jobs, say an industrial unit, we'll try and ensure that maybe there's a green roof, there's solar panels, there's green walls. The landscaping takes into account native plants to ensure biodiversity is enhanced. So I think it is, as Nicola said, it's social, economic, environmental and heritage. It is balancing, but you can have it, comprehensively then, if awareness is raised to ensure the benefits of that.
That's great, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lana. Steve Hunt, please, next.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. While understanding Chair of Planning's points of view, and I fully appreciate her points of view. I mean, I think it should be put on record that Lana and her team, Nicola, the cabinet member Annette Wingrave, this particular biodiversity project has been exceptional. It brings out so much energy for people living in communities, and you know, as we head into summer and spring and so forth, the colour, you know, it is important. Biodiversity is huge. It has to be balanced, as Lynette said, and I think it's just, we want to give out thanks to all those and external teams, because I do know Lana had to work with external bodies in providing what we have in front of us. So all those involved need a pat on the back, and you know, it's wonderful to see a biodiversity plan for Neath Talbot Council. That's all. Thank you, Chair.
No problem. Thank you, Councillor Hunt. I don't see any other further indication on this report. Please note this report is for decision and it's going to Cabinet straight after this meeting. I will need a proposal and a seconder that you're happy for this report to go to Cabinet as it stands.
I move, Chair.
Councillor Keogh. Okay, seconder, please.
A second, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, can I now take you back to the Cabinet Scrutiny agenda, please? Members, item number 5, Forward Work Programme. The Forward Work Programme is attached for noting. Chloe, do you have anything to add?
No, Chair, like you said, it's just for noting. Thank you.
Noting, okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 6, which is urgent items. There is one urgent item, which I mentioned earlier on in my chair's announcement. However, we have chosen not to scrutinize this as we are happy with the recommendation contained within the report. So there are no further items. So I would like to thank you all for attending today's meeting.